So I'm going to invite you to start on your back if it feels okay for you. Sometimes we'll sit, sometimes, but this in this case, we'll come right onto the back, um, knees bent, feet planted on the ground. And if you want to wiggle your feet to the outer edges of your mat when you get here, and then the knees can move in towards each other and kind of lean on each other like a little tent. And so once you get there, again, just bringing some very intentional awareness into the body. So wiggle the feet around, wiggle the toes, and let them find the most optimal space to land. So, if the heels are too far in towards the bum, then you can move them out or vice versa. And then bring your hands to the belly below your belly button, even if it's just your fingertips sort of resting at your womb space. And you can gently rock the head from side to side. Just connect the back of the skull at this point to the ground. Just give it a chance. Give your whole back body a chance to integrate the fact that you're grounded and you're settling through your surface below you. And if you want to close your eyes, you can. Just softening the face and the jaw. Checking in, letting the shoulders melt down towards the ground a little bit. And then just breathing, right? So you can take a breath through your nose and just feel your belly expand a little bit as you breathe in. And then just really connect to the falling of the belly as you exhale. And we'll just do that a few more times. Take a breath through your nose and let it go. And as you exhale, just settle a little bit further into the ground, into the area where you're being most still and present. A few more rounds of breath on your own, just in and out through the nose. Follow it in and follow it out as a way to bring your intention to the body. Out of the whirlwind, bottom-up approach of a thought that's generated from an emotion, be it anger, frustration, sadness, whatever it is. Sometimes there's a thought that comes through from the emotion. So if we use the breath to get into the body, then we trail back to the actual emotion, the energy that's inside of you that's trying to move. And so with your next inhale, see if you can expand a bit more. So you're not only filling up the belly with air, but even your chest, and then filling up all the way to your throat and letting it go completely. Maybe even exhaling through your mouth. And let that breath be audible, whatever it sounds like, whatever it looks like. Do that 2 more times, filling up the belly with air, the chest, sipping in more and more and more. Open the mouth, let it go. And once more. Let everything settle. So you start to wiggle the toes at this point and just feel the ground beneath your feet a bit. Maybe even walk the like heel toe the feet inward towards each other, starting to align the knees and the ankles back where they normally would be. Shake the head no 1 more time, just bringing some sensation again to the back of the head. And you can open the eyes if you want to. You can totally keep them closed if it feels a little bit better. And we're going to take just a moment to windshield wiper the knees side to side. So the feet are about hips distance apart here. And then you're just going to take your knees out to the left and then out to the right. So it's like really gentle movement and a little low back massage. Staying with your breath. And of course, this is any degree. Don't force the legs to go out further than they want to. It's just a gentle waking up. Come on back to center. We're going to take a pigeon stretch. So the right ankle is going to come up and just be placed on the top of the left knee or thigh, creating that figure 4 shape. And then if you want, like you might be getting a stretch already through the right side. If you want, you can bring that left knee in towards your body. And then you can reach through and either contact with both hands, the hamstring behind the leg or even in front of the shin. Just breathe in through that right hip and into the low back, into the outer hip on that right side. Checking in just to see if you can still allow the upper body to connect to the ground. The shoulders might peel up off the floor a little bit, but we can always be intentional about the upper back, mid back, and sacrum still being planted. Rock really gently side to side, like such a minimal movement here. And see if that, just get curious about if that enhances your experience here a little bit or not. Come back to your breath. And then just slowly switch sides. So you're going to bring that left foot down. Let it plant for a moment here. Take the left ankle on top of right knee. Right? Settle into that shape and then draw that right knee inward if it feels good on this side. It might feel different. Right? So just breathe in through your left outer hip now. And as you really very minimally rock side to side, you might notice a sensation moving. So follow it. Come back to your breath. Maybe even following your breath inward with a big inhale and letting it expand through that area that is asking for a bit of care along the left side somewhere. Let the right foot come down, unravel from this. Take the knees into the chest. So let your chin and your nose draw up towards your knees here. Give yourself a nice big hug, big squeeze, right? Softening through your face and your neck. And we're going to start to roll up so you can just rock really, really gently. Take as long as you can, actually, to gently rock and roll up, building that momentum until the spine can lengthen up. Awesome. Once we get here, you can go along the mat, and I'm just adjusting my visual. I'm going to let my legs go out in front of me. You can follow that, shake them out a little bit, and just contact the legs a bit. Give yourself a little bit of a self-massage, whatever that looks or feels like for you, because your body will tell you what it needs. Just still focusing on the lower body for a moment here. And now we'll move to the upper body. So let your sits bones connect to the ground if you want to remove a little flesh from beneath your butte so that you can actually feel those sits bones again connecting that are surrounding the pelvic floor. Let those bones connect to the ground. Take a big inhale, reach all the way up. And then we're going to forward fold. So the head is going to move towards the feet. Let the spine lengthen first, and then let the hands connect where they will, whether that is your shins, whether that's your ankles, maybe it's reaching for the feet. Eventually the nose can move down towards the knees, but just in that direction, not forcing, just allowing. Send some breaths into your low back. and see if an exhale can just create some space and softness. And then as that softness is cultivated in the back, maybe there's a little bit more of a release, a melting that you can feel happening here. With your next inhale, move the hands up the legs. Okay. Little neck stretch. So take the right ear over to the right shoulder. Loosen the jaw. Just notice what's going on the left side here. Take an inhale, reach your, nope, wrong. Take an inhale and reach your right hand all the way up. And then just grasp the left side of the head along the ear with the right hand. So all this is that contact, right? This is up to you. If you feel like you want a bit of pressure or a little bit more gravity leaning into the left side of the head, that's fine. But really, this is just some guidance for the neck opening. If you want, you can add windmilling this left arm back and around, letting the left hand come behind the low back. And decide whether the front of the palm or the bottom of the palm is going to be contacting your low back here, whatever feels better. Lengthen through your spine. So if you feel like you've come into something like this, we just lengthen the spine, stacking each vertebrae. Let an exhale soften you through the left side here. And again, just allow this shape to do what it does for a moment, just staying with the breath. You know, there's a reason we call them poses or postures, right? Because it really is. It's a matter of just coming into your expression of the shape or the pose or the posture, and then just breathing and allowing it to do what it's going to do. Removing the forcing, removing the striving for anything. So draw your chin down to your chest and then gently rock your head the other way, left ear coming over to the left shoulder, and we'll switch sides. So release the arms, just find some softness from the shoulder joint all the way down through the fingertips. Inhale the left hand up, take hold of the side of the head along by the right ear. Windmill that right hand behind you. Contact the low back any way that feels good, even if the elbow is not quite, even if that shoulder, doesn't really want to quite open. It's just tension. Tension just, guides us to pay attention. That's really all we need to tell ourselves about it. Breathe in through the right side of your neck and just allow. Yeah, again, really intentionally following the breath in and then following it out. Soften through your legs if you feel like the leg muscles are starting to fight you a bit. Next exhale, you can start to release really mindfully, slowly making that happen. Take the hands out in front of you, raise. Slowly bring yourself into a tabletop. And this is where we'll start to move a little bit more flowy like. So we're going to release the toes for just a moment. Let the knees come under the hip joints, palms come right under the shoulders. Inhale and just think about having a flat back. So as you can see, sometimes the belly will drop down. That's fine. There's a place and a time for that. Sometimes it's a little bit too much trying in the core. Let everything soften a bit and lengthen through your tailbone all the way up through the crown of your head. And then when you're ready for that exhale, go ahead and take your cat pose, press the ground away, scoop the belly in, let the nose draw down. Inhale, look up, open the heart, soften the shoulders and the neck. Exhale. I'm going to invite you to inhale through your nose for cow. And then exhale through your mouth for your cat pose. emptying out completely. Inhale, receive, draw in, accept. Exhale, release. Blowing all that doesn't serve us down into the dirt. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let it go. Inhale to a flat back when you're ready. Just coming back to neutral. Hips move over to the left, back towards the feet and around. Hip circles, just 3 or 4 rounds here. Just letting the hips wake up a bit. And then when you're ready, you'll switch directions. Come back to your breath. Beautiful. Come on back to a flat back. Plant the palms again. Sometimes they kind of lose their space. We're going to flow low, which means we're going to move, but we're going to stay low just for the time being. We're going to take an inhale here, flat back. Planting the palms, rock the hips and the heart forward, lower down with your exhale, all the way. Let the elbows bend, let the hips melt down to the ground. The heart can stay very minimally peeled off the ground or the chin. Plant the palms under the shoulders. And then inhale, the heart comes up. Exhale as your hips trail back into a child's pose. And you'll take one full breath cycle in your child's pose, which just means an inhale and an exhale. And the inhale, the following inhale, brings you back to tabletop. So we're going to do that 3 or 4 more times. Exhale to lower down. Plant the palms under the shoulders. Inhale. Peel the heart up. Might be just the top of the chest, maybe through the rib cage. Maybe eventually you peel the belly button off the ground. Exhale back to child's pose. One full breath cycle. Inhale up to tabletop. Feel free to track your own breath. If it doesn't match up with mine, it's okay. Lower down, exhale. Let everything melt down except the heart. Push it up, inhale. Exhale all the way back, child's pose. Inhale up, tabletop. Lower with the breath out. Plant the palms, inhale, peel the heart up. Exhale back. We're going to do one more round. Stay with your breath and let it be the guidance for your movement. Inhale, last time, tabletop. Exhale, lower. Inhale, peel the heart up. Open the chest, receive. Exhale, move on back. Stay for, again, one full breath cycle. Let the hips really melt down and back. Move the fingers as far away from you as you can. Let the heart melt. Take one extra breath here, actually. Eventually, we're going to move back into tabletop, and we're going to move into downward facing dog. So check in, align your knees with your ankles and your hips. Palms right under the shoulder joints. Tuck your toes, lengthen your legs, and send the hips up high. Creating this V shape. Walk your feet to where it feels most comfortable when you get here. And eventually you press the ground away to lengthen the spine all the way up higher. The hips follow. Let the crown of the head relax down towards the ground. Shake the head no and yes to loosen the neck. Really let the heart relax down, soften the shoulders, walk your dog, bend one knee, lengthening the opposite leg, and then switch. And breathe. Continue walking your dog, one heel peeling up at a time. We're going to slowly walk the feet up towards the top of the mat. The very slow journey you're taking. It's intentional because we do not want to be moving too fast. We have a forward fold right at the top of the mat. Let that go. You could always use the block if the hamstrings are really, really tight. You could always bend the knees. And you can always use the block. Or you can plant the palms. Or the palms don't even have to plant at all. We can just hang. We just want to release the whole upper body. So you're going to bend the knees a little bit more deeply, just for safety, to come all the way up. So the fingers go wide, reach all the way up high, big, big breath. And then exhale, swan dive right back down. Inhale to a halfway lift. You have a flat back, crown of the head is moving forward. Exhale, fold. 2 more times. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, last time, halfway lift, strong, flat back. Let yourself come down, bend the knees, plant the palms, come back into a plank. Lower down, knees, chin, chest. Moving into a full sun salutation. Inhale, peel the heart up. Cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. So notice how I bent the knees and the knees were planted before I moved into downward facing dog. That's a modification, right? To make it a little bit more accessible, a little bit easier on the body. Send the hips nice and high, press the ground away, let the heart melt down and inward. Soften the neck. Bring the feet together, take an inhale, bend the knees. Exhale to either walk or step to the top of the mat. Inhale to a halfway lift, strong flat back. Exhale, fold. Let the head go. Again, coming all the way up with the inhale. Take your time. Big breath. Reach up. Look up at the ceiling. And float your hands to a prayer at your heart. Exhale. Soften the shoulders and the face. Give yourself a full breath cycle here just to integrate. Let the sand settle a little bit to the bottom. And we're going to do that 2 more times. Inhale, reach all the way up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, gently bring the palms down to either blocks or the ground. Bend the knees, step back. Lower down, knees, chin, chest. Press the ground away. Inhale, peel the heart up, cobra. And then bending through the knees. It's a coming through tabletop into downward facing dog with the exhale. Right? Wag the tail a little bit if it feels okay for you. And release some of the tension through your pelvic floor, right? So as you wiggle the tailbone a bit, soften the lower belly and release the pelvic floor. Let everything open up a bit. Bring the feet together, take an inhale and bend your knees. Exhale to step or walk to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale all the way up. Reaching up. Maybe there's a little mini back bend at the top. Very gentle. Exhale, hands come either along the sides or to a prayer. 1 full breath cycle. And we do this 1 last time. The inhale reaching all the way up. Exhale, fold. Very intentionally releasing gravity and releasing what doesn't serve us. Inhale, flat back. Bend the knees, plant the palms, step back, lower down. Knees, chin, chest. Inhale, peel the heart up. Exhale, press back. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Press into the balls of the feet and the toes. Lift the heels up. Press through the palms. Lengthen the arms. Send the hips even higher. And then let the heels relax down back behind you. Wherever they land, they don't have to connect to the ground. Just relaxing down. Looking at your navel. Softening the back of the neck. Beautiful. Float into a plank. Let the crown of the head move you forward and flattening out through your spine. And then lower the knees. Press back to child's pose. Just really getting intentional about softening through the hips. We start there. Hands moving away from you. Heart melting down onto the legs. You could always put a block under your forehead if it feels good. Just think about letting the body soften. And again, allowing the shape to do what it does and a little less trying, grasping for control in the body. And then once you can come back to your breath as well and get into that zone. Just connect to what's left, which is really the energy moving. So stay here for 2 more breaths. And then when you're ready, after 2 more full breath cycles, you can slowly come up and we'll meet just in any seated position that feels right. But take your time and complete your full cycle of settling and integrating before we come into our meditation. Ooh. Okay, that was lovely. So there's one, if you want to come into cross-legged, that works, or lotus. If you'd rather sit on your heels, it works either way. We're going to bring the palms down to our legs. Again, settling through the sits bones, connecting as much as we can into the ground, just like a strong, a strong thread drawing down through the spine, through our chakras, continuing down through the pelvic floor, and really solidly connecting us down deep into Mother Earth. We're going to bring our palms onto the legs, as I said. Just take a few upper body circles, any direction you can go in that feels really intuitive and good for the body. So we're going to inhale as the heart comes forward and exhale as you scoop the belly and draw back. 3 rounds this direction wherever you are. Connect to the sensations that come up and where they are. Reverse the direction of that circle when you're ready. And then when you are complete, you come back to center. You take an inhale to lengthen through your spine. Exhale to soften the belly and settle through the pelvic floor once again. So it's a nice way to let the breath guide you into, okay, I have an empowered shape, but again, I'm allowing it to do its thing once I come into that shape. So I take away the striving, trying and the pushing and the pressure by softening through the womb space and the belly and the pelvis and just keeping the shape and letting it do what it does. So you can close the eyes, come back for a moment to either the feeling or the image of this very strong thread that is trailing up and down your spinal cord. So it's extending not only down through your pelvis, down into the ground, but it's also trailing all the way up through your chakras, through the crown of your head and out into the ether. And I'd like you to intentionally decide what it looks like. Is there a texture? It is, the only thing I will give you is that it is shiny. So is it gold? Is it metallic? Is it matte? Is it silver? And again, yeah, just kind of clarifying the texture, maybe even like the temperature, if that makes sense. Like some way to characterize it, personalize it. And as it's shining, you notice that with your breath, which you can just really, intentionally come back to that awareness now. Your inhale will allow the shimmer and the twinkle of this rod or thread, depending on its texture and its width and girth. So your inhale will bring that shimmer and that shine all the way up as you lengthen through your spine a bit and let that shimmer and shine build and build and build until it's trailing out through the tip top of your crown and into what's beyond. And your exhale can allow that shine to draw down the thread or rod and just see the light that's flickering off of this beam. Down, 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 through the belly, through the pelvis, through your root and into the ground. And the light just continues until it's so deep. And so just stay with your breath and that shine building up, coming back to you, back through your body and all your energy sources and up through the crown. And then moving down with your exhale. Just continuing to clear you. Every trip that the light makes can dissolve a few more particles of energy that is not productive for you. So let that continue for probably another 4, maybe 5 breaths. So you can check in with what's left, right? So this final clearing that we're being really intentional about. Where are you at in that process? Knowing that you can come back to this practice that you're in right now whenever it feels like a clearing is necessary. So for our final 2 breaths, let's bring it to an exhale through the mouth. So again, once you're on empty, that next inhale will be in through the nose, lengthening through the spine. Really, really just like expanding and having that shine build up so big and so bright. This final opportunity to clear, and then exhale through your mouth, letting the navel move inward towards the spine. Press out every last particle of the blockage, of what's stagnant, of what's unproductive. One last time, big breath in through your nose, filling up, expanding and growing, shining. And whatever's left, the final particles, again, let it go. As you settle, 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 settle. And just let everything soften. Let your breath come back to natural. Move your hands around a little bit, move your fingers around a little bit, very gently. And let your chin come down to your chest. Just as a way to send the gaze downward as we slowly start to open our eyes. And you can look up when you're ready and start to orient yourself back into the space that you're in. Just literally look around, notice some things, name them, whatever it is. You're in your own space, so look around, notice something, name it, move on. And then find something in your space that offers a feeling or a sensation of safety or comfort. I'm staring at my meditation pillow in front of me. Anything, just to kind of land and conclude on something that offers that type of a feeling. Amazing. Great job. Absolutely delicious. Any last moments of stretching or any adjustments before you start to move into another shape or another seat or move the body or change your position? Any last minute things that feel good for you, even if it's just like another neck roll or shake. Shaking is welcomed and highly productive. Thank you.